Langri Tangpa himself once said, "Indeed, may I, towards those who slander me out of jealousy and without reason. Some people quite irrationally slander me purely out of sheer jealousy, you see. Indeed, so what should I do? I truly aspire to take upon myself the heavy burden of loss and the bitter sting of defeat, and to generously offer the immense benefit and glorious victory to others." Of course, this is very well said, but I don't know if I can do it. Others slander me out of jealousy. It's not reasonable slander. There's not a shred of reason behind their slander against you. When there is no justification at all, they insult you and slander you. They curse you and bully you. At times like these, I readily accept the loss and truly defeat myself and willingly offer the victory and benefit to them. Ordinary people in this world definitely do not act in such a manner. So sometimes when Buddhists learn well, especially if their hearts are particularly kind, it's actually not very suitable in today's society. Because among people in today's world, if you are too soft or weak, in our kind of community, it's still a bit better, I suppose, but it's not really that good either. Sometimes if you truly don't retaliate in kind, they feel there's no harm to themselves. So they keep on bullying you. But if it truly seems like you could actually harm them, or if their own outcome wouldn't be good otherwise, then they wouldn't dare. Actually, ordinary people are very clever. So some ideas in Mahayana Buddhism are indeed not very suitable in groups of malicious people. In groups of malicious people, it's often tit for tat. You hit me, I hit you. If you slap me once, I will certainly slap you 3 times. Come on, if you have the guts, step up, something like that. Then the other person would say, "Ha ha ha, I'm just joking, it's not really like that." If you don't act in that particular way and just keep diligently practicing patience, they might continue attacking you. It's entirely possible, but there's nothing you can do about it, right? That's just how Mahayana Buddhist thought is. Thogme Sangpo himself also said this. Among the crowd, with angry glares and harsh words that are hard to bear, I am slandered. So much so that I can't even lift my head. At that time, I should remember this vow. Thogme Sangpo also spoke in this way. Among many people, some glare at you with anger and use harsh words to slander you, making you feel especially because among many people, if someone exposes your faults, you won't even be able to lift your head. So what should you do at that moment? Should I immediately hit them? I need to remind myself, at this time I now need to recall my solemn vow, my sacred promise. What kind of vow is it? It's the solemn vow to truly transform all slander into a vital part of the path. When others slander me, I really need to endure it. If I can truly manage to do this, then this indeed represents a true and profound practice. When someone, consumed by intense anger, visibly shows a furious and contorted face and deliberately uses all kinds of harsh, cutting words to deeply hurt me, and in front of a very large and attentive crowd, openly and maliciously slanders my good name, I should respond with loving kindness and use this as an opportunity to cut through my afflictions. This is the same idea, right? It's about being in front of a large crowd for no reason. Someone starts to hurt and slander you and begins to directly insult you like this, then you should truly accept it with a very compassionate heart indeed. You should also not allow him to create such profoundly negative karma for himself. Consider this perspective. His arrogance in this particular situation is actually quite beneficial to my spiritual growth. Therefore, may I employ my profound wisdom and boundless great compassion, utilizing skillful means that are as precise and effective as a sharp blade to cut through and eradicate the deep-seated poison of his suffering. If someone treats me in such an unskillful and challenging manner, I should benefit him despite his arrogance. Isn't that what this means? I need to use wisdom and skillful means, as well as the sharp blade of compassion, to truly cut off the poison of suffering for both myself and others. When others always try to harm you, if you lack compassion, lacking wisdom and skillful means, I wouldn't endure. But having these qualities, then when we look at the biographies of great monks and the Buddha, everyone should be absolutely clear about this particular point as well. Moreover, the Venerable Thogme Sangpo most definitely put this into actual practice. Whether people belittle or slander us, or indeed for those who bring us suffering toward these people, the profound monastic teachings of not repaying resentment with resentment, whether in the Theravada Buddhism or Mahayana traditions, must be genuinely and sincerely practiced. Actually, both the Mahayana and Theravada Buddhism traditions, which are integral parts of Buddhist philosophy, even in the Theravada Buddhism, we have the 4 dharmas of the Shramana, right? If someone actually hits you, if someone even scolds you, if someone truly harms you, you do not retaliate. This is also the case in the Theravada Buddhism tradition. And it's even more so in the Mahayana. So sometimes when monastics display particularly irritable behavior or retaliate, and even lay practitioners, if someone says just a little and they start to curse back, in such cases within Buddhism, this indicates that this person is definitely not practicing well. One should be clear about this oneself, and others should also be clear about it. Don't think that just because you're feeling happy, you're practicing well. In reality, your temperament, your disposition, or your behavior, your very own, whether in public or in private, if when someone harms you, you want to harm them back, or if you harm others for no reason, then in such cases you are definitely going against the teachings of both Mahayana and Theravada Buddhism. Per Mahayana Buddhism, we must aspire to put even those who harm us in the state of perfect enlightenment. We embrace them with this attitude. It is also stated in the sutras, "Whoever insults me or causes me distress, may they attain Buddhahood." Some people insult me, and we've heard that some leaders are especially harsh and crude when they scold others, as if when they open their mouths, a whole overwhelming barrage of scriptural citations comes pouring out. I've heard some people say they are especially skilled and truly impressive at all kinds of foul language indeed. Generally, when people insult others, actually this truly reflects a certain significant level of character. People who are noble or possess genuinely good character, their language is very refined. Even if they even need to criticize someone, the language they use for their criticism may be a bit provocative, but they won't really actually directly use particularly harsh or unpleasant words. This applies to us as Dharma teachers or as stewards as well. We must be mindful when we speak. Otherwise, some people, when they were laypersons before, had relatively poor character. And now, after becoming monastics and diligently managing the Sangha community, if they still use such language, it's especially inappropriate. If anyone speaks to me with contempt, I make the same aspiration. May they attain Buddhahood. This is what's taught in the way of the Bodhisattva. All this is from a worldly perspective. It's a skillful means to pacify the 8 worldly concerns. Earlier, transforming slander into the path. From a worldly perspective, this does not require relying on the view of emptiness. This is important. If we speak from the ultimate perspective in the later part of our preliminary practice memoirs, when discussing the perfection of wisdom, the analysis of self and self-grasping is especially well done. In the future, look at the latter part of the preliminary practice memoirs, which discusses worldly and ultimate perspectives, especially when it comes to the ultimate perspective, according to the ultimate view of Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, and then conducting analysis. What's in the preliminary practice memoirs without a foundation in esoteric teachings, it might be difficult to explain it well. But if you are able to explain it, then indeed for a practitioner, it seems that nothing else is really needed. However, if you are guiding disciples or teaching the Dharma to others, then you might need other things, mainly some treatises from the 5 great treatises. So, as I have said before, in each of our lives, there should be one main Dharma practice or one book that we focus on. If you always carry this book with you wherever you go, it is just like your yidam. Just as with your yidam, wherever you go, you often pray to them. And as for your root guru, you also need to receive blessings from them. The same goes for the book. I have seen that some people truly do this. For example, with the Manjushri Great Perfection, or the words of my perfect teacher, people read a few lines daily. This continued for many years. Actually, if you do this, perhaps your mind stream will more easily transform. This is what I just mentioned from a worldly perspective. Then from the ultimate perspective, everything is equal, as it is also said in The Way of the Bodhisattva, therefore in all empty phenomena, how can there be gain or loss? At end of Wisdom chapter, when 8 worldly concerns are pacified, phenomena are without gain or loss. There is no thing gain or loss. Of course, from the perspective of emptiness, one can develop this kind of firm understanding. From the perspective of emptiness, gain and loss and so on are all equal. All right, let's stop here for now.
Kirgana jirano chupai chupun tholen dradasya
Mandarangara Badna Sodargye Mandarangara Badna Sodargye Aham Bandara Gara Banma Sodargye